Hey guys, an operating system is an interface between a computer user and a computer hardware. For example, Windows, Linux, Android, iOS, etc. All these operating systems have some key features, some pros and cons which differentiates them from each other. Guys, welcome on Techno Vibes. This is Sachin and I am here to teach you about the core concepts of one such operating system, and that is Linux. Linux is one of the most popular operating system and it is available in both interface, that is command line interface in which you will be getting a black and white window, and desktop interface. For in order to make familiar with the environment, I will be teaching you on the desktop environment, and from that desktop I'll be showing you the command line interface. How does it look like and how we operate them. Okay. This series of videos are for newbies, people who are new to computer science, people who want to pursue their career or already supporting IT infrastructure and want to improve their technical skill set. So, guys, at the end of the video, if you have any questions you want to ask or if you have any suggestions you want to share, then feel free to share that in the comment section. Before we proceed, guys, do like and subscribe my channel and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you can be notified about my next upload. Guys, let's if we talk about overview of Linux, that how it was created, who it created it. I think that is some basic information which you can easily find on Google. Like Linux was created in 1991 by Linus Torvalds, and this Linux is a trademark of Linus Torvald. Not even this, he created Linux because he wanted one of his own operating system, because he was not able to work on any operating system just because of licensing issues of Unix at that time. Now, right now, Linux has expanded in many flavors and is available to for personal as well as enterprise users. So, this is just a very simple, very basic overview, and I believe that you will not be requiring it while doing the practical thing. So, let's get started on Linux, guys. Before we proceed on Linux, there are few things which are required, like a Linux operating system installed on your computer. As you can see that I have a Windows operating system installed here. As you can see that I have Windows operating system installed here. And in Windows operating system, how will I be able to access Linux? If you already have a Linux operating system installed on your computer, then it is well and good. And if it is CentOS 7, then it is perfect, because I will be using CentOS 7 to teach you about the complete concepts on Linux. I'm not recommending RHEL 7 or 8 because there are licensing issues, so I will not ask you to go for it. CentOS 7 is best because you will be able to use all the features which are required for you to understand Linux. So there are two things. First, if you already have a Linux operating system installed, it's awesome. If you do not have an operating system, for example, you have a Windows operating system installed on your computer, then you need a virtual box to work on. Virtual box, what it is? Virtual box is an application on which you can download and install. You can install any operating system. So it will act like an operating system running on your computer. But you will be accessing your Windows as well as other operating system inside the virtual box at the same time. So that is best part. So which operating you can choose, which virtual box you can choose. Here it is. As you can see that I'm using Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager. This is the VirtualBox Manager which you can easily download if you go on to the website, which is virtualbox.org. You can download the latest version of VirtualBox 6.1 and install it on your Windows computer. Once you have installed Oracle VirtualBox on your computer, the second thing which is required is that you need an ISO image of Linux operating system. It can be CentOS 7 or CentOS 8. So in my computer, I have installed CentOS 7. So if you want, you can download and install any of those. Right now, if you go on to the website, which is centos.org/download, you'll get these options: CentOS Linux DVD ISO, CentOS Stream DVD ISO. So click on CentOS Linux DVD ISO and you will be getting the information about the latest operating system image which is available. That is it. That is CentOS 8.1.1911. So you can download any of these images, right? As I have already installed CentOS 7, so I do not need this. I'll just minimize all that. So guys, let's get started on Oracle VirtualBox. First of all, I need to close a window here because there was one operating system which was already using. So this machine is getting closed right now. Great. Okay, now we are good to go. So you already have installed Oracle VirtualBox. If you have image of CentOS 7, click on new, then name it as CentOS, right? And then choose the version, whether it is supported by 32-bit or 64-bit accordingly, as you can see here. As you can see that there is no name for CentOS 7, so I'll be using other Linux and 64, and I'll get that, proceed on next, and I'll keep on proceeding next until Linux is installed, CentOS 7 is installed. So once CentOS 7 is installed, I'll select the CentOS 7 here and then press the start button. As soon as I press the start button, a new window will pop up which says VirtualBox information, and after that I'll press switch. As soon as I click on switch button, as you can see, a console will open. This is a console on which your Linux operating system is getting booted. Remember, I am saying this that this is a virtual machine in which CentOS console is being loaded. Guys, first thing and very important thing is that many people gets confused on what is a terminal, what is a console, and what is a shell in Linux. So guys, they are not one and the same thing. I repeat, this is not the case where console, terminal, and shell are the same things. No, do not get confused in that. This is a very basic. If you are a beginner, please understand that there is a difference between console, there is a difference between console and a terminal, as well as a shell. How these are related, how you can define them, and distinguish between all these three things. Here it is. Right now, the window which you are seeing is that this is the desktop screen. Okay. So as soon as I clicked on CentOS here on VirtualBox and clicked on start, I got a pop-up and this console was loading. So this screen, this desktop screen, the screen which you are getting in front of you, that is a console in which CentOS desktop is loaded. Got my point? This is a console screen which you have got in which CentOS desktop is loaded, where you can see my name here. Got it? So this is a console in which I will be using the desktop of CentOS 7. Right now I will be logging in with my name because I registered it by my name. A user I created named Sachin, that is my name. A password which I have created, and I'll enter the password and I will be logged in. As soon as I am logged in on this window, on this desktop, I will be getting the desktop screen, the main page. So that's how it looks like in CentOS 7. I'll just give you a brief information about that how this desktop looks like. First part, on the top bar, you can see that application section. In the application section, you will be able to find many things like favorites, in which uh, whatever files which you have used recently, you will be able to find that here. If you have bookmarked any files or selected any files as favorites, you can find it here. In accessory sections, you will be find the tools like calculator, clocks, contacts, documents, etc. Similarly, for document section, in documentation which is related to your operating system, so you'll be getting the help section here, and the graphics, internet office, sundry and system tools, utilities, etc., etc. These are the tools which you will be getting in the application section. So if you have any applications which you have installed on your operating system, you will be able to find that information here in application section only. Second part is the places. Guys, this places section is very similar to a Windows section here. As you can see here, is that when if you are using a Windows operating system, you go on this PC and you will find the information on 3D objects. You can see these icons, right? 3D objects, desktop, documents, downloads, music, pictures, videos, C drive, D drive, E drive, etc. The places section is sort of the similar sitemap which you can find here. So if I go into the computer section, places and computer section, I'll get a page here. Here it is. This is the my computer of, you can say, operating system. And whenever this page is loaded, whenever this window gets loaded, similar to Windows operating system, there is a icon which you will find here, this tab. Features, minimize, restore, maximize, or close are similar to that in the Windows Explorer options. Okay, so there should be no confusion on that. The only difference is in my computer section, you will be getting all the drives which are related to your operating system. First of all, there are four things which are very important in Linux. All the information which is inside your operating system, they all are files. Very, very, very much important. I repeat this again, that all the information which is installed on your Linux operating system, they are all files. So you do not have to worry about it, that if you are loading an image, you are uh, entering up any sort of video or anything. All these things are files, so you should not be confused about that. It's very important to for you guys to understand that you will not be dealing with any sort of different information. You're not talking about image file, you're not talking about document file, you're not talking about a PDF or a video file. A file is a file, it doesn't matter what format it is. Okay, so everything and every object is a file in Linux. Every file, everything has a location or a place. For example, in root, this is a root section. This home section which you can see here, this home folder, right? You can see that it has got a location here. This home folder is very similar to the folder which we have here in Sachin C. So everything has a location. Second thing is that everything has a life. For example, if I go ahead and delete a user named Sachin, I create another user named Aryan, and I delete go ahead and delete a username Sachin. The life of that Sachin folder is ended. And do remember each and everything, that most important part is that everything is related somewhere with something inside the file. It's quite confusing right now, but I request you not to get confused, because once we start in doing hands on this, things will get clear to you. So before wasting any more time, let's get started on how you will be starting on working on Linux operating system in your actual environment. When I say environment, I am talking to people who are already working in the organization. People might have seen a black and white window on which uh, the administrator does some work. So from where we will be getting that window? Right now, like I said earlier, that we are into a desktop console of our CentOS operating system. Okay, so that part from where we will be uh, getting that window on which we will be typing the commands and start executing the commands, waiting for some processing and results, etc., etc. From where we will be doing it? We will go into the application section, we will go into utilities, and in the utilities section, we will find a terminal. We will click on terminal and we will get that window in front of us. Because this is a desktop version, you can see a window white and black. But in real time environment, when you are working on actual server, you will find a black and white window, because you will not be finding the desktop. You will find a black and white window on which you will be typing the commands. So do not get confused. That black and white window is the same terminal which you are seeing in front of me, in front of you right now. The same operating system, the same terminal will be there. The only difference is that it is black and white, and there will be no desktop icons. It will be a command line interface. Let's say that if you are a Windows user, you might have seen command prompt. So here is the command prompt. Here it is. Okay. So as you can see that this is the command prompt, and similar screen you will be getting when you are working on the live environment. So as you can see, these two screens are very similar. But right now, this one is Linux, this is command prompt. But in real time environment, if you are working on Linux, you will be getting similar screen, but there will be no C drive. It will be similar to this. It will exactly the same. I hope I'm very clear with this. If you have any confusion on this point, do type in comment section. I will explain that to you again in the comment section if you have any doubts or any confusion. So not to worry about it. I am here to clear all your doubts. If you find any issues, just type in the comment section. I'll clear that up. Okay, now let's clarify. Let's get into more into it, guys. Like I said, there is a difference between console terminal and a shell. Okay, guys, what happened here is that right now we are using a console. This is a desktop console which we have. Command line interface, that is another console on which you will not be getting any desktop icons. You will be getting only the text. Okay. In in this console screen, I have opened a terminal. Here it is, a terminal. So guys, in terminal we will be typing in the commands. Let me clear this up again. In the console, I have opened a terminal, and in that terminal we will be typing in the commands. So you must be thinking about that, what a terminal is, right? What a terminal is, what a console is. Console is the screen which we got in the beginning, at the beginning of it. It provides an interface that was used to configure and control the computer and to view messages from the operating system. For example, that this is the console screen, complete console screen. If you talk about, this is the console screen where we have icons in the on the desktop. We have a top bar, we have a bottom bar, we have workspaces. We can see, we can control volume, we can control the network, we can see the battery of my laptop, the date and time, not the date but the time and day, uh, the user details, etc. So on the console, these informations are already provided, and I can configure it. For example, that if I want to check the date and day, I can choose from here. I can go into date and time settings, and I can configure the date and time settings right away. See, I can configure it accordingly as per the need. If I want to uh, change certain settings of my own, I can click on my name and can go into settings, and I can find so many different options which I can configure. I can go for the keyboard, I can check the date and time, I can configure network status, etc. So this is a console. Inside a console, I have a terminal on which I will be writing the commands. So the difference between a console is that console is the bigger picture. Inside that console, I have a terminal on which provides me an interface in which user can type in the command. Like you and me, I can type in the command here. Like I can type in ls and I'll press enter. It will give the information about the listing of all the files which are under my home directory. Okay, guys, like I said earlier, that in Linux everything is a file. Remember that everything is a file. So whatever directories, whatever folders are there, they are all considered as file. Let me clear this up one more time in a different way. For example, that if you are a Windows user, you can see that there is a Windows Explorer on which you can see the folders, right? In Linux, these folders are known as directories. As you can see this, these folders are known as directories, and whatever are inside these folders, they are what? They are the files. Very simple. These folders, similar to Windows, in Windows we have folders, in Linux we have directories. I hope you got my point. In Windows we have folders, in Linux we have directories. In Windows we have, uh, inside the folders, whatever is present. It can be subfolders, and there can be document files, image files, etc., etc., etc. But the difference here in Linux is that in Linux, whatever is stored inside the directory or subdirectories, all are considered as files. Okay, I hope I'm very clear with this one. If you have any doubt on this, that what is a directory, what are files, then please do let me know in the comment section. I'll explain that. So whatever is installed inside your Linux operating system, uh, you can access that either from from the directory section in the application section, or from the home section, or you can open a terminal and you can access it from your command line interface. So this terminal gives you the complete access on which you can enter the commands, you can get the output, you can input something, you can write something, and you can get the output of that. But that something does not mean that you will be typing in anything like where am I, my name is Sachin, hi, how are you, nothing like that. There are some specified commands which you need to understand first in order to operate the Linux operating system. In real time environment, you will not be getting the desktop. In most of the cases, you will be getting this command line interface on which you will be operating the complete system. So be very clear about it, that everything in Linux are files. Let me, if you have a pen and a paper and if you want to write that down, it's very important for you guys to understand these 4 points very clearly. So if you have a pen and a paper, you can write that down, that everything on your Linux operating system is a file. Second point is that everything has a location. Doesn't matter if it is a file or if it is a directory, everything has a location or a place, you can say. Third point, a very important point, that everything has a life. So for example, if there is a directory I have deleted, the life of that directory ended. If I am using um, if I am accessing this operating system, this console, by the name, by the user Sachin, at that time, if I go ahead and create another user by another name and delete Sachin, the life of this Sachin user is ended. Third thing, and fourth and very important part is that everything is related. So right now I have done ls, which is for listing all the files and folders. Okay, so if I go into the home section, I'll be getting the same information here, right? If instead of going into the home section, I go into the computer section, and in the computer section I'll go into the home directory. In that I find my name, and I'll be again getting the same information here. As you can see that it got highlighted automatically. So that's how it is, that everything is related. You can see that all the folders are same: desktop, documents, downloads, music, pictures, public, etc. As you I think you guys are very clear about it now. So let's get things moving. Let's get things moving now. I'll close this window and let's get back to our terminal. So guys, as you can see that I am in my terminal, and in this Linux terminal we will be doing all the other stuff which are required for you guys to understand Linux basics and everything else. So as we will be monitoring and managing everything, controlling everything from this terminal, let's maximize this first. So this is the whole command line interface which you will be working on. So let's clear this up so that you can get the exact picture what I'm about to tell you. Guys, before we start, I have shared information about few things, like four important rules in Linux, which are very important, and you should never forget that, because if you are not clear about these four rules, you will not be able to manage Linux. Those four rules are: everything is a file, everything has a location or a place, everything has a life, and everything is related here in Linux. Okay, so second part which I informed you about is a console, and a difference between a console and a terminal. Right now I have CentOS console on which I am using terminal. So console is everything which you get after you start your operating system, whether it is the booting process which you see that your computer is loading, up till the time you get your login information, you enter the password, you are still in the console. In console you are getting your desktop screen on which I have opened a terminal. All right, so I think I'm very clear on this part, that what is a console for you guys. Okay, so after this console thing, let's get started on terminal. In terminal, it provides an interface, you can say, in which you and me, or users, you can say, users can type commands and they can print text. You can control a different Linux operating system through a remote connection. There are many other stuffs which we can do from this simple command line interface, and this interface is provided on a terminal. All right, now This is a terminal on which this gives you a place where you can type in the command. All right. But how you type in the command, how that command is understood by Linux operating system, how it is performed. If you do not have the answer is a shell. Guys, shell is a command line interpreter for your Linux operating system. Doesn't matter that right now there are many shells which are available. The one which we will be working on is a bash shell. All right. So whatever command we will be writing in this terminal, that will be interpreted by a shell, which will help computer to understand that what program or what command you want to execute first. For example, in the terminal I am entering ls. I have typed ls, and as soon as I press enter, this a signal will go to the computer that shell will interpret this ls command and will show the result. So guys, there is now there we have three things. We have console, we have a terminal, and inside a terminal we have a shell which interprets the command. If things are getting complicated, guys, do let me know. I'll simplify the video and I'll upload the video again. But do not get confused between these three things. However, these three things are not very important. For most of you guys, console, terminal, and shell are one and the same things, but in reality, they are not. So reason I am focusing more on these things is because I do not want to miss even a single concept on Linux operating system which you guys are not aware of. I want you guys to understand each and everything with clarity. This is the only reason I'm still stuck with these 3 points. So now we have a console. Inside a console, we have a terminal, and inside the terminal, we have a shell which interprets whatever you write inside inside the terminal. All right. So I think this is very clear that what is a shell, what is a terminal, and what is a console. Let's start with some basic information about that how you will be using the shell, your terminal, how you will be using terminal to write commands and get the proper output. So guys, if you and me, if I have to talk to you, what I will do is that I'll simply ask you in English and or Hindi or whatever your mother tongue is. I'll be talking to you in that mother tongue and I'll try to talk to you, and so that I can convey something. I'll convey a message to you. If you are already aware of that language, you can listen, understand, and you will respond to me. Similarly, in Linux, in while entering the commands, we will be telling the computer, the OS, that what are we looking for. But how we can understand that which command does what. So for that, I'll be telling you about some basic commands through which you can understand that how to operate this. First of all, let's talk about a manual pages. You can note this down. Manual pages. Manual pages is a place from where you can access the information about all the commands which are installed on your Linux operating system. For example, as you can see that I have entered ls command at the beginning, I pressed enter and I got the information about all the directories which are present in my folder, right? So if I press the man space ls for manual pages, in order to open the manual pages, I have to type in man space ls and I'll press enter. As soon as I do that, you can see that I am getting the information about the ls command, that what it does. Synopsis means that how you can use that command. Description gives you information about that, what this command do, and other options which you can find here is that it gives the information about that how you can use this command to manipulate or work with. As you can see that there are so many options which you have been provided with, right? See, at the end, you'll get the information about that the author who wrote these commands, the copyright information, and other references which you can find here. Okay. In order to come out from the manual pages, you just have to press the Q key on your keyboard. So I have just pressed Q, and now I am out of the manual pages. Guys, in order to find help at any point of time, you are not sure about that which command to use or what any particular command does, you just have to type in man space the command name, and you will get the information about that command. For example, ls, I have done this, and I got the information about ls is the like I have said earlier that man ls, it gives you information about list directory content. Okay, so I'll escape from here, and after that I'll press ls, and it gives me information about that whatever information I have, whatever directories or files or folders I have inside my home directory, you can see those folders in front of you. At any point of time you feel like that your screen is filled with a lot of text, and you want to clear that up, you just have to type in clear and press enter, and it will clear your screen and you will be able to type in. This does not mean that whatever you have typed in has been deleted. If you will scroll up, you can find that information. Okay, so we have this here. Now, if you are not sure about that what command which you have entered in the past, how you can identify, how you can find that what command which you have entered, for that there is a command which the name is history. You can press history, and as you can see that you can find all the commands which I have used so far. As you can see here that I used ls, after that I have used man ls to check the manual pages. After that I ran ls again. The last command which I used was history. As you can see that there is an entry for history command as well. So guys, few things how you can find the information of any particular command, and how you can view that what commands which have been used so far on your computer. So if I want to check that what history command does is, I will do man space history, and here's the information which I have. This is the information which you can see for the history command. Okay, I'll just press the Q button, and I am out of the manual pages of history. Okay, now I think this is very clear to you guys. If you are not sure about it, do let me know. I'll again I'll be happy to help you and explain the stuff to you. Okay, now very basic things of shell we are talking about now. As you can see that I have entered the command. As soon as I entered the command, I got the output. But in what way we are getting the output? In shell, whenever we enter a command, there are few basic things which you should understand. That, for example, I am talking about ls command. As you can see that I can see that in my home directory I have desktop, document, download. These all folders, all the blue ones, these are all the directories we are talking about. So moving forward, I'll be calling these folders a directory. So do not get confused in that. Okay. So every command which is entered at the shell prompt have three basic parts. Okay. First part is the command itself, like ls command, right? The second part, which is the option. As I said, option ls space hyphen l. Why it is? This hyphen l decides the behavior, that how this command ls should work. All right, I'll repeat again. The second part is the option part, which decides that how this command, this ls command should work. So if I enter ls, I'm getting this information. If I am entering ls hyphen l, see what you will get. There is a change in the information which you are getting. It is giving me a detailed information about the complete directories. If there was any file inside uh, my home directory, it would have given me information about that. How you will be able to understand this? Okay, so it entirely depends upon that, how you want that information to be presented, or how, in other words, how you want that command should behave. That options part is the one which helps you to decide that. So here it is, ls space hyphen l. If I, when I used ls, only ls without any sort of input, I got simple list of the directories. As soon as I decided ls hyphen l, I got the detailed information about that directory. As you can see, when I used ls, I got desktop as a directory. Out here, as soon as I have entered ls hyphen l, I got the information about that what are the permissions which are set on directory, what are the nodes, what are the users and the groups, the modified date and time, etc. Guys, do not worry about that, what are these informations, and how you will be able to understand these informations, because I will be teaching you that, I'll be telling you about how to read this information. But as of now, the only point of telling you about option is that it changes if I'm using a command. If I'm using an option along with that command, it will change the behavior of that particular command. As you can see in front of you that how this command was working earlier before entering an option, and how it gave us the output after we have added an option to this. Now the third part of a command is that there is an argument. Argument is typically a target of that command. For example, right now there is no argument in ls. There is nothing more written here, which means it is giving me listing the directories and folder, directories and files inside that folder, inside the home directory. If I'm using ls hyphen l, which is an option, in that I am getting the information about the detailed information about the files and directories which are inside the home directory. Now, if I add another option here, an argument, for example, I am entering desktop and I press enter, I have got no information here. Why? Because it seems like that desktop folder, the desktop directory is empty. Let's find out. See, there is nothing written, there is nothing in the desktop directory right now. I am in the desktop directory and desktop directory is empty. Some basic commands I'm telling you right now. Okay. So as you can see that whatever command you are using, there are three parts of those commands. First is the command which you are using. Second is the option. This hyphen is also known as a switch or a flag, followed by that what option you want to use. Okay. And the third part is the argument. Argument is simply the target of the command. So for example, I was using no argument out here. So, but here I am using the argument as desktop. That means I want this ls command to run on this desktop directory, which will which should give you the list of the files and directories inside the desktop directory. As you can see that there is nothing written there. There is nothing stored in the desktop directory. So it is going as it is giving us nothing. So ls, and we have got nothing because there is nothing written there. So I'll just come out of this directory. Now, as you can see here, there is a directory which is downloads directory out here. So let's see that if I get anything inside the downloads, or I will not be getting. So I'll use the command again, but this time I'll be using ls, the command, followed by option, that is -l, followed by the argument, that is download. In downloads, and now I press enter. As you can see that I am getting the list of files and directories inside the downloads directory. I hope that this is very clear to you guys, that how you can understand a command. Do not get worried about that I have not told you about what cd command is or what history command is or anything like that. I'm just giving you a brief idea about that, what command is and how you can use it to manipulate your operation. Okay, so guys, let me repeat that again. Command, each and every command has three parts, right? First is the command itself. In our case we are using ls. The second part is that a command has an option like -l. This -l decides the behavior, that how ls command should give you the output. So if I'm not using -l, it will just list the content. If uh, it will list the files and directories. If I'm using -l, it will give more information about the files and directories which are inside the home directory. And if I'm using an argument, like I'm using download section, a target, if we give a target to our command, so that command will act on that target to give you the output just like the same. So guys, your next lesson is, next important point you need to write that down is that command has three parts: command, option, and argument. Let me clear that again. Command itself, the options which decide the behavior of the command, and then the argument, which is the target on which that command should work. So this option section and argument may or may not be required depending upon what sort of command you are using. All right, I think this is very clear. If you guys have any doubts or confusion, you can write that down in the comments. So guys, as you are now aware about that, how you can understand that how a command is working, or how you can change the behavior of the command, let's proceed on understanding few commands with which you can access and manage the files and directories inside your Linux. Okay, so let's start with a very simple command. You already are aware about the ls command. What it does is that it lists the content, let's list the files and directories inside whatever folder you are in. Okay, so right now I am in the home directory of a user. This tilde sign indicates that this is the home directory of the user Sachin. Okay, this tilde sign indicate that I am into the home directory. This tilde is the directory for home, a sign that it is a home directory for the user named Sachin. Okay, so in Sachin's home directory, I have desktop, documents, downloads. These directories are present. Okay. Now the question is that how I will be able to access these directories. As you have seen few minutes back, that I used a cd command. Cd is for changing the directory. In short, change directory. This is the command. The initials used here are cd space and the path of the directory I want to access. After that, press enter. Now, as soon as you have entered the path of the directory, you will be able to find the directory name inside the bracket, which indicate that you are inside that directory. So cd space downloads. Now have entered into the downloads directory. So now if I list the content inside, list the files and directories inside the downloads directory, I'll get different information because I'm not in the Sachin's home directory anymore. I am in Sachin's downloads directory, in which I can find that there are few files which are stored there. So in order to access a directory or change the directory, you have to type in cd space the path of the directory, and you will be able to access that directory if you have the permission. Now, what if I have to go back to Sachin's root directory? What I can do is that I will type in cd space then two dots and then I press enter. That's how I am back into the same place from where I started. I am back again into the Sachin's home directory. So guys, I think this is very clear to you that how you can change the directories. cd space path name, and after that you will be able to enter into that directory. Now, very basic, very basic and very important part here are the how you will be able to understand that what path you have to give for any particular directory. Right now, as you can see that in ls, after in Sachin's home directory, I have so many directories which I have found. But what I if I am not in Sachin's home directory, how will I be able to give that the path? Let's say that if I am somewhere outside this, I am going out of Sachin's home directory. I'm totally out of it. Now I have to access this downloads section, which is in Sachin's home directory. How will I be able to do that? cd space. As you can see, I will be giving the complete path of that directory. Like I said, that after cd, we have to give the path of that directory. So guys, how we identify that where we are in our Linux, where we are at which point. What we will do is that we will have a command which is pwd, which is print working directory. As you can see that we are getting a forward slash here. This forward slash, very important point again, this forward slash is the main directory from which all the other directories are connected. This is the root directory. So if I press ls, as you can see that I am getting a entirely set of different directories here, in which I have a home directory. So I go into home directory now. I'll see here and I'll press ls and I can find only one user here, and that user's name is Sachin. So in home, I have one user named Sachin, and if I go into Sachin, I find this, and now I am into the home directory of Sachin. I think this is very clear. Now I asked you earlier that how if I what if I am not in Sachin's home directory? How will I identify that? That where we have to go. PWD will help us to identify that where I am located. As you can see that path is slash home slash Sachin, and inside that is my home directory. That is my home directory where I am located. So if I am somewhere else apart from this Sachin's home directory, I have to give this complete path. For example, I have to do it. I was doing earlier like CD downloads, and I was into the downloads folder. Now, let's say that if I am in a different folder, so in a different directory apart from Sachin, let's say that there was a different user here. I am in Aryan's home directory. I'll type in if I, but still I have to access Sachin's home directory, and I have to go into the downloads section. What will I do? I'll type in CD, and I'll give the complete path, like I said, home Sachin, and in Sachin I have downloads, and then I press enter. As you can see that I have again opened a downloads section inside Sachin's home directory. All right. So guys, two commands which are very important to use. CD command. The command is CD, that is for changing the directory. How you can enter a directory, how you can get out of the directory, how you can enter a directory if you have the path, how you can find out that where exactly are you located. You can go into that directory, you can press pwd and you will get the complete path of exactly where you are. I think this is very clear to you guys. When you guys will be doing the practical, things will get cleared. I request you guys to do the practical as much as possible. This is very important. Linux you cannot understand unless and until you do the practical. So I think this is very clear. These are very few basic things which I have just told you. I'll tell you about few basic commands, and after that I'll wind up this complete session because this session will become uh, a very large section which I do not want you guys to get confused with. Okay, so what we have learned so far is that what is a console, what is a terminal, what is a shell. After that, we have learned about what is a command and how you can understand, you can control the behavior of the command, how you can act, you can use a command to act on a specific target, how you can change the directories, how you can identify that where are you located. Okay. Now, another important thing which I told you about is the man command, which is for checking the manual pages. Like I said that you have to type in man space cd. So this will give you information about that, what information which you will be getting here. Like man space ls, and you will get the information about that what ls command do is that it list the directory content. Okay, and it gives you a short description about that, how it works. And after that, like I said before, that I used the command ls-l. You will be getting the options, various options with which you can use along with the ls command, which give you a desired output as per the requirement. Okay, so ls-l use a long listing format. This is the option which I used earlier, which gave me information about the files and directories inside that content. Okay, so let's get out of here. Now, we have learned about three commands: man for manual pages, cd for changing the directory, pwd is for identifying the current path. Also, in your operating system, if you check here that I can see the date and time here, I can see the date here and time is mentioned here, right? But what if and you are using a command line interface, you do not know that what time is there. So I will be using the date command and I'll press enter. I'll get the information about the day, the month, date, time. All the informations are visible in front of you. EST is the time zone which you are getting right now. So you can in future manipulate the time zone. So if you, let's say that if you are located in Australia or Japan, you can change this time zone accordingly. I'll teach you about that as well. But for now, just to check the time, or the date, you can use the date command and you will be getting the information about it. All right. I think these are some basic informations which you can easily identify, and you are very much aware about that how you can um, go into different folders. So for now, your job is, your first task is to create a virtual machine and that install your Linux operating system. And once you have done that, open a terminal, and after doing opening the terminal, you need to look into different files and directories. You can use cd command to go into different directories, check that what are the contents in those directories. You can list that directory, you can go into manual pages ls, and you can use these many options and check that what these options do. And once you are done with that, uh, in whatever directory you are, press the PWD and check that where exactly you are located, and from that location try to get into your home directory, and henceforth, and vice versa. I think I'm very clear with this. And guys, this is the first video for on this complete series. I have tried to be as much um, explanatory as possible. So if you guys have any questions at any point of time, do write that in the comment section. If the information is more than you expect, do write that down. If you want me to make changes in the videos, do write that down. If you have any suggestions, do write that down in the comment section. I will get that sorted for you guys, and I hope you like this video. Before I wind up this video, I again request you to like and subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you can be notified about my next upload on this series of videos. I assure you that I will be teaching you the complete concepts on Linux. It's not like that you are a beginner, you should do it. Even if you are a professional, you are learning, you are watching my videos, I assure you one thing, that I will be giving you the complete and all hands on information, all the practical things which I will be showing here, which you are using in your real time environment in your IT infrastructure. I will be giving you each and every information, your any problems which you are facing in your IT infrastructure, you do not know how to get that sorted out, to bring that to me. I'll show them that how to fix that up for you. So guys, do not think of it that this was a very long video and it's not that much information for you guys. But if you are a beginner, this is the best part where you can start. Go through the video, go and check that if there is anything which you are not able to understand, write that down in the comment section, and I will respond to you as soon as possible. But very important part here is that it's Linux. You cannot learn Linux unless and until you do the practical stuff. So whatever I have taught you today, I request you to uh, do that practical. If you want any help in installing the virtual box, or downloading the ISO image and installing it on the virtual box, do write that down in the comment section. I'll give you the link of the ISO image as well as of the virtual box in the description, so that you can download it easily. If you have any questions, any doubts, any suggestions, I request you to bring that down in the comment section, and I'll get back to you and as soon as possible. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I expect you guys to, I'm pretty sure that if you have seen this video and interested in learning the technical skill set, you will be there for my next upload. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.